Good morning. It's Tip Tuesday, and that means like lots of tips today about organization. Hi, I am Lorraine Brock. I'm a professional organizer and owner of a company called Get Organized. It's a professional organizing company. We organize your homes, your offices, packing, unpacking, senior downsizing, and so much more. But you know what I love is to teach you guys all about organizing some area of your home, your life, or your business. So we started Tip Tuesday about 6 months ago, and Tip Tuesday is all about tips, giving you guys tips on organizing areas of your life. So on Tuesdays, I bring a unique topic that helps you organize an area of your life, giving you lots and lots of tips. So thanks for joining us. And we have got I think it's a really fun episode today. It is all about labels and tags. So when you're organizing and you're wanting to polish off something, labels and tags is just the way to go. Not only is it a functional piece of organization because you know what's being stored there, but it also can look really great as well. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on where I started. So I grew up, if most of you don't know, in the Dallas area in a city called Garland. And I was really middle-class family, but my dad is extremely frugal. I mean, like really frugal. And he would always, like many people of his generation, even though they had the money, they didn't want to use it for organizing products. And often we would find in the house, in the garage, elsewhere, we would find coffee cans. And I know this is backwards, but it's basically says nails on it. But we would find coffee cans with all kinds of duct tape on it. Now, in the 70s and 80s, when I grew up as a kid, duct tape only came, I think, black and for sure the gray. And so duct tape was labeled everywhere in our home on things that needed a label. Sometimes it was a cardboard box and you still had that duct tape on there that said what was in that box. So it was definitely functional, and by today's standard, didn't look pretty. But there's so much duct tape out there that can really make something pop, and you can create a label from it. So while we're not going to talk about too much duct tape today, I just want to give you an idea of the type of containers and labels that I grew up with, that probably many of you did as well, to save money, be frugal, and to still identify where things are. So the old coffee can with the duct tape label, that is something that I grew up with. Labels are really important because, in talking with our clients, we often see that there's not a home for anything. So how do you get the whole family on board and knowing to pick up and put up? What do you do? How do you know where to do that? How do the kids know where to put back certain things or games or toys? Do you put it back? Now, I've had this that we call it the shove fest, where you just go and you put things where they fit, not where they belong. And often over time, that can make a house extremely cluttered because no one knows where to put anything. There's no central home for the things. So how do you get everyone on board? How do you get the kids involved, or hubby or your wife involved? So really identifying things and places with labels is extremely, I believe, important. You can absolutely use duct tape. I mean, if that is what you have, use it. It's better than no label at all. Watch the services, obviously, that you put it on. But another thing is we have some property in East Texas, and there is multiple light switches and containers for not only kitchen items, but bathroom items, things that everyone leaves down there, and it's sort of a community use. So if one person is living in a home and they're all by themselves, then it's pretty easy to know where things are. You rely on this. But when multiple people are using a space, whether it be your home or in this case, our property, multiple people are using it and it needs to have identification. So we have light switches on the wall, like many of us do, but these light switches are numerous at our property. We have porch light, back porch light, we have floodlights, we have pond lights, we have fan over the dining table or light over the dining table or the kitchen light or whatever. It's like, oh my word, the fans on the front porch screen has a light. And we were like turning lights on and off, like just like we didn't know what we were doing. So finally, some smart person in the family, I don't even think it was me, but I think I'm pretty smart too. But some of us just got in there and started labeling the light switches. And I know in a home, I probably wouldn't want to do that because I wouldn't like the look. But at a second property that you own, I think it's fabulous, especially when multiple people are going to use it and you're not living there all the time. So you forget which light switch is what. So if you're going to do labeling, that's a good way to do it as well as at a second property that maybe your family or you share and you don't frequent all the time. So let's get going with our tips today. I've got 4 tips today for you guys, all about labeling and tags. Now, I'm going to expand on some of these as I always do. So to help you guys get an idea of what you can do or what to consider or what labels not to get, what labels to get when you get into space. So tip number 1, labeling totes that's going to go into the attic. Now I'm using that term attic for those that are here in the South, especially the Texas area, Oklahoma area. This is a heat, just a boiling pot of heat during the summer. So the heat that we have up in our attic is even more extreme because obviously it's not vented most of the time, and therefore labels that you put in the attic become really important. So I want to camp here for just a second and talk about attic storage and labels to use. Now I'm going to go for the cheap and I'm going to go a little bit more for the pricey and sort of give you guys an idea. So tip number 1, don't use just any label when your totes and bins are going in the attic. Bad idea, especially in the Texas, Oklahoma heat. So what you can do is take a postcard, and here I've just wrote the number 4 on, and you can take a postcard, and what I want you to do is take like some clear packing tape, and I want you to take that clear packing tape, and I want you to tape it to the side, the long side of the box and the short side of the box. And you're saying, why would you put a number on that container? One of the organizing systems that we do in attics is to be able to identify what's in the box by a number system. And the number system you would write down in a Word document or obviously on a notepad to begin with of what's in that box. But the most important thing is don't feel like you've got to take a whole index card and list every single item on that because that's time consuming. The clear packing tape is important because obviously it's an index card. If you were to take a regular tag, like a sticky tag on the back, and tape it to the side of your tote that's going in the attic, that is going to actually come off. Very few tags will do well in that type of heat. It sort of melts off, it sort of raises up. So if you're going to use any other kind of label, cover it with clear packing tape. It's just going to be a better chance of it not coming off or getting really melty and sticky and sort of sliding. So that's one thing. The other thing is there's products that you can buy. You can buy them on Amazon based on this, the width and the height that you want, or even places like Uline, where you can actually go get clear pouches. So they're basically clear pocketed pouches that open at the top and they stick on to these containers. And really good industrial type stickiness. And what you can do is when you can list all the items you want if you want to do it that way, or you can use a number. And then you put the little card, like an index card, inside that little clear pouch. And then when you're wanting to change the contents of that clear pouch, that label tag, pull that paper out, trash it, and then put in a new one. So basically that clear pocket that opens at the top stays on that container forever. And you can just switch out the tags or the contents or the notes or even an index card in that clear pocket anytime you want to. Those work great also for warehouses, for garages, for anything that would be an outside entity, but obviously inside as well. But they're heavier duty. And so just be careful not to use just any label when it comes to addicts, because in this heat in the South, any label just does not work. So highly recommend using, if you're going to go on the cheap, use the index card, write a number on it, identifying that number to contents in the box on a spreadsheet, and then put clear packing tape over that postcard. If you're going to go a little bit expensive, maybe some kind of clear pocket that you can put a label in and out and change it as you need to. All right, so tip number 2. Best places for labels for efficiency in your home that will benefit everyone. Tip for that, for labeling, is pantry and the kitchen. And here's why. If you want your family to help put up dishes, put groceries up, labeling is so important in this area. It's like number 1 community area of someone's home. So if you're going to label any area, label the kitchen. Now, I've got some labels here today to show you guys sort of what's on the market. Now, by no means do I have all the labels that are out there. There is just absolutely no way I could do that. But it's so fun searching for these labels. Now, when you're putting labels on things, know that they're obviously associated with it is a budget. So I'm going to show you some of these labels here that would be great for the pantry. They obviously can be used in other areas. But these are little chalkboard labels with a clothespin attached to it here that you can actually clip on to baskets and bins. Love them, love them, love them. This one, I believe, came from the Container Store. There's 8 in a package. Don't get me lying about telling you the price because I absolutely don't remember. But there's 2 packages here of 8. And you might find these somewhere else. Now, a little secret, you can make anything really a chalkboard label if it has a surface to write on. All you need is a can of chalkboard paint. So let's just say you have a flower pot that's one of those clay orange flower pots. You can spray that down with chalkboard paint and let it dry. If you want a certain edge on it, use some tape, like a frame, and you can create a surface to use for a chalkboard to write on. So chalkboards can go on anything, even if you don't buy it, you can make your own. So another one here is, this is from, I think this one's from Michael's. These are actually just the actual clothespin here. And these come in different sizes, different colors. In fact, here's another thing from Michael's, all kinds of colors. They even have these like with polka dots and stripes and squiggly lines, little tiny ones, really big ones. And these are great if you want to just use something like a postcard or an index card, anything that's really cute. And I'll show you this little thing here. This was actually you can see this was actually an envelope. And I just punched a hole with it. You can get some ribbon and tie that on if you want to anything that you want to label. Or if you're using it like for the kitchen area and you don't want like a ribbon in your pantry, these types of things are great to just put it on there. It's just an envelope to stationery. And this was the actual stationery that came in with the envelopes. It was actually something like this. Really cute. So just be aware that you can make it out of cute stationery too and use a cute clip. There's all kinds of ways you can make cute labels. But so going back to tip number 2 about your pantry and your kitchen, make sure you label where the like where the spatulas and things go. If you have wooden spoons, or where the measuring spoons go, or where the Tupperware type Rubbermaid products go. And in the pantry, you definitely want to label lunch items for those kids or hubby or wife, and then label things that are individual people's snacks. I've got a story to tell about that. So in our household, if your name's not on it, it is totally fair game. That means leftovers, and yes, they come and eat the leftovers from the restaurant. My leftovers will get eaten if my name is not on it. It's like at the restaurant, you're grabbing your pen out of your purse and you're writing immediately because you know when you put it in the fridge, if that name is not on it, it's fair game. I remember one time that we had bought, I guess we had a party or had some sodas because we don't have Sprites and Dr. Pepper very often at all. And I remember labeling those on the lid of whose they were. And we put them out into the garage. And I remember my daughter-in-law, she's probably going to watch this. I remember I was on the couch and I watched my daughter-in-law go out and she grabbed one of these drinks and didn't look at it. She got into the kitchen and she was about to open and she's like, oh man, and she had to truck it back out there because it wasn't hers. So if dad has some favorite chips or snacks, make sure those get labeled dad, like either with some kind of label that you attach to it. You could even do it on something like this and use it to close the top, or just get a marker and write their name on it, because I'll tell you, in our household, it is fair game. And I do believe that people need to have their individual snacks. When you have a household full of people, you need to have their individual snacks that no one gets to, because it's horrible. When you go and you have that salty or sweet craving and like, I want some of that tonight, and you're all geared up, and then all of a sudden you get there and it's gone. And then you have to start prosecuting everybody in the house because someone has taken it, if not all of them, and shared it and didn't say a thing. So I have some deep wounds about that, because I often have gotten my snacks and leftovers taken away by others. So if you're one of my family members and watching this, stay away from my food. That's what I said. Okay, so that was tip number 2. If you're going to label an area, I think the pantry in the kitchen is ideal to label. And just make sure you set aside labels for places where people know what to put back if they're unloading groceries, or if they are cooking, unloading the dishwasher, all that kind of stuff. They need to have a home. And sometimes people forget, even if you tell them. So put labels on things, and that will help you stay better organized with labels and tags in your kitchen. All right. So tip number 3. I love this tip. In fact, I love this tip so much, I'm going to do it to my house. I didn't even do it. In prepping for this today, actually a couple days ago, I was like going through a lot of ideas on, I was trying to think of something for like breaker boxes. And we have our breaker box in our garage completely labeled. But recently I started thinking, what if the electricity went off and we needed to go out there and do anything in the breaker? I don't know. I have no idea if this would ever happen, but I do think it's a great idea to be prepared. I always say that you need to be prepared to prevent chaos. The best defense against chaos is preparation. So you're going to love this tip number 3. So tip number 3 is going to be labeling your breaker box. And while most labels will work for this, consider something that glows in the dark. Isn't that cute? Okay, look at this. This is actually glow in the dark tape. And it's green, and you can just cut pieces off and label a breaker box. Now, even more so, here's another thought. And I just thought about this a few minutes ago. What if you took the tape and you put it from your door of your house, if it's out in your garage, and make a line, like a pathway over to your breaker box? You may not even need to do that. Maybe you take your breaker box and you outline it with this glow in the dark tape. And that will allow you to see it from a distance. Because if the lights are all out and you need to go check a breaker or something like that, then you've got to get to the breaker box, possibly in the dark. So obviously you could grab a flashlight. But I just thought glow in the dark labeling tape would be an awesome solution for your breaker box. So consider that in places that might be dark or even hard to see, behind TVs, under desks. Anything that maybe the lights would be off, or it would be low lights in an area that you would need to get under and check something. And this would play. I mean, I read the reviews on this and they were awesome. Not only were they awesome, people left comments of how many ways that they had totally used this label tape. So make sure when you go online, you look for glow in the dark green tape. Like label tape. It's like a roll of duct tape, but it's much thinner and obviously will not damage the things. They even talked about the back of it, and it's more of a fabric tape. So great solution, I think, for those dark in hard to see places. Okay, tip number 4. Love this tip. We have tools out in our garage that are standard, which more of it is American, and then metrics. And you don't know which one is what just by glancing at them. You have to actually pick up the wrench or the whatever it is, the nut, and look and see what it is. So half the problem is like, oh, I was looking for a metrics. That's the standard. I don't need that one. So I would consider for you guys wrapping the ends of your wrenches or any of your metrics with one color of electrical tape or some kind of tape and wrapping the other with another kind. So you may do metrics red and standard blue. And that way you can see at a glance which one is what before you start looking for the actual size you need. And you don't have to wrap the whole thing. Just wrap it right below, like sort of the neck of the tool, and you will be able to just glance at it. It won't get in the way. It won't cover up any measurements, nothing like that at all. So a really good way to label it just using very basic label tape. Now I want to show you guys some other labels that I was able to pick up here. And I think these are awesome. You can get these at Container Store, and I believe you can get them online at Amazon and maybe an office supply store. But these are called erasable magnetic labels. It's a starter kit. So while this is backwards, I'll tell you a little bit. So these are like metal and mesh bins. If you're having a mesh bin anywhere and you need a label to stick on it and you don't want anything to clip, you can use these on the side of file cabinets, anything that's metal, because these are magnet labels, and they will be able, you can see right there, they will be able to stick, and they're erasable. They come with a pen in there that you can erase and reuse those labels. So I love that one. I was at I was at Michael's a few days ago, and they actually have these types of things already painted. Like all you have to do is go to their craft section, and you could actually put some markers or paint on this and then clip something or like hot glue something like these onto it and make a label for like a baby's room or a little boy's room. And you don't have to spend any time making your own. They do have blank wooden shapes that you could obviously paint if you wanted. You could spray them with that chalkboard paint that I mentioned. But if you want to make it really easy on yourself and get something that's already done, they have a ton of these. They run about $1.50 a piece. Here is some dry erasable labels. These are removable, reusable, and rewritable. All different colors that you peel the protective paper off the back and stick the label to a smooth, clean surface, removable and reusable. So really cool colors there. Here's some more. These are just regular, these are called labels that have the sticky back on them. Really cute. And if you don't want to use the sticky back, remember, you don't have to stick it on something. You can use, any kind of clip that will keep it on there. Just hot glue it. These are mini tags. Really small. They're not very big at all, but they're little mini tags that you can get. I got a package of mini tags yesterday that were just this green. In fact, let me grab a couple over here. The whole thing was just a bunch of little label tags. And they have a hole already in them. And they come with string. And you can just label your heart away with all these. One of the things that I did see on the tag type stuff when you're using tags is they were wrapping them around things that were harder to clip. One of the places that when I was online doing some looking at tape, at labels, they would wrap it around like the hot water shutoff or the cold water shutoff. So if something happened and you weren't at home and you're the only one that happens to know where something is, you can say, hey, it's out in the garage, it's labeled, that's how you go shut off the hot water heater, or this is the cold. It's a really good way. You may even do that underneath your sinks, especially if your faucets are switched. Some homes that had been remodeled and the hot water's not where it needs to be in the cold water and it's been switched. And so people turn off the wrong one, use the wrong one if they're trying to turn one of them off. So just be aware, tags are great around piping as well. Obviously it's paper, so you want to keep it indoors. Oh, this is a good one. So dealing with your paint. I found this one, I believe it was at Container Store, but this is what's that paint. So this package contains about 5 labels. I think they're around 2 inches or so. Put it up there. You can write the color, the finishing, the base, dates that you used it, location in the house that you used it, what rooms. So this you can actually use on your actual cans of paint. So I thought that was really cute. This one is another clippy one. I'm going to open this one up. This one's at Container Store, and this is a metal one. Right here, it's a metal with a metal clip on the back. You see that? And you have this thing that can come out. So really, these are reusable. You take this out, leave it on, you can just slip it over the edge of a basket or a container. And then this paper, you'll just cut again into a size that you can just slide one in there. You can use different color of papers. Look at this. So these are different sheets. These are like in the scrapbooking section at like Hobby Lobby, Michael's. They will all have these. And I love this is sort of a gold, and that's sort of a textured teal blue. You could cut these out for like what this white piece of paper is and write your label on that and make it so cute. I mean, they had even ones with patterns. So you could take these also, and you could go buy a teacher supply store in your area. And if you're a teacher, you'll probably already have access to what I'm about to say at your school. But you can go and do some, I guess it's called die cuts. I may be wrong. They're like little things that you cut out shapes with on paper. A lot of teachers have them. Mardell's, I believe, has them in teacher supply store. You can laminate them if you want to at Mardell's or teacher supply stores. But you can cut out, let's say you wanted balloons, labels that look like balloons. Just take this, run it through the machine, and it will cut out balloons for you, and then you can write on there what you want. This kind of paper is like, I don't know, a couple dollars for a package of a few pieces, all the way like 89 cents to $2 a sheet. You pick what you want, but it makes for really cute decorative labels. Let's see what else I have here. So label holders. These go on the end of, it could be a binder, more so something that's going to stay like in a magazine holder, but I'll let you see these. And these are actually hard metal, and this piece of paper actually comes out. And you can see a picture there of it being in use. So just all kinds of labels here. What else do we have here? More chalkboard labels. Chalkboard labels are like the thing. And this is more of a tag. You can see there. Love, love, love those. Now, if you are wanting like stars or hearts, I found these, I believe, at Hobby Lobby. I think they're like $5 a pack. 10 pieces in a pack. And for Valentine's Day, if you need any kind of tags, that would be really cute. These are heart-shaped chalkboard labels or tags that you actually run through. There's a hole in them, and you can actually do that. They have stars as well and circles. All right, so here the next one I want to show you is something that I use in my kitchen. It is called erasable food storage labels, and you can see that. This is outstanding. So I do a lot of cupcakes. I just have gotten into this thing about doing cupcakes. And so often I have icing that I don't use, and I take it and I freeze it. Well, white icing, chocolate icing, you know, they look like white or chocolate, but they might be flavored with something else. Like chocolate could be cookies and cream, or white could be a white lemon. So I always forget what's in that container. Same thing with leftovers. So you can put these on any kind of Tupperware type container. They are dishwasher safe, they are microwave safe, and they are freezer safe. You can submerge them in water, you can get them cold, whatever you want to do. Then there is a pen in the back here that's erasable. So if you decide not to use that label the way you've labeled it, erase it, reuse it. I have used these in my containers and put them in the dishwasher on every one of them, and they are mint perfect. Now, eventually, I'm assuming they will break down, but they haven't for me in months. And there are different sizes of labels in here that you can see, different sizes of labels. and you just peel them off and put them on the Tupperware type of product that you want to label. Put in the freezer, put in the refrigerator, wherever you want it. And if you need more labels or your pen runs out, you can buy those individually at the Container Store. I have also seen these online at Amazon, not this exact brand, but they do have it. And this one runs $9.99, so $10. So one of my favorite things to keep in the kitchen. In fact, I gave this to all of our organizers this past Christmas as one of their Christmas gifts. So hopefully they are loving it. Okay. Let's see here what we got up next. Okay. Label makers. Now, I know in previous episodes, we've talked about label makers with some of the organizers that came on Tip Tuesday. I just want to show you mine and just know that they're all different price points. The biggest thing about label makers is the amount of label tape they either waste at the end when you're printing it, beginning and end, and the cost of that label tape. So those are the two things you really need to look at. So because I lean on the frugal side, I don't go for all the bells and whistles on my label maker, though nothing's wrong with doing that. So this is a Dymo label maker. You can get this one at Walmart for like under $20. I absolutely love this. Good size. Some of our organizers like the ones that are longer, like wider. I like the ones that are more tall. So the label maker here is not fancy. It will do a couple lines, different fonts. It will add some pictures, but definitely not any additional colors on the actual printing. But the cartridges you can get transparent, like see-through, and it'll print black text. You can get white paper, white plastic paper, and obviously it's printing black text because it's only one color. And they just pop in. I will say for the price point of the label maker and the cost of the tape and the least amount of waste, I recommend this one. Unless you're doing something on a massive scale that you need all the foo-foo, I would recommend something just like this. Less than $20. You can do settings that doesn't allow it to waste so much of label tape when it prints. Like there'll be the excess on a lot of the other brands. There'll be a huge amount of excess tape on the end of it that you're just going to cut off you don't need. And there is settings you can do to help reduce that here, and it is a noticeable reduction. So anyway, just keep that in mind if you're looking for a label maker. Man, I just have so many labels here. So again, labels. Labels are awesome for making sure you have a place for things so everybody else knows what that place for things is. Let me see here what else we have. I think that's all the labels that I wanted to mention today. Make sure here with my favorite, as you guys know, being those kitchen labels. Yeah, that's good. We went through all of them. Okay, so let's get on to our Tip Tuesday. Next up, we are going to mention our giveaway from last week, which were our garment dividers. Let me show you guys what those are. Last week, we said if you were to leave a comment down below with the best tip, these garment dividers you can see right in here would be give you an opportunity to win them and put you in a drawing. So last week, the person who won these, we're going to mail them out, is Diane Keaton. So Diane, congratulations. We're going to be mailing these out to you soon. So be watching for them in your mailbox in the next week. And thank you for joining in and leaving a comment down below for Tip Tuesday last week on our organizing segment. Okay, so our giveaway. So I don't know. It just sort of seems like it's appropriate maybe for us to give away some labels because it is Tip Tuesday and it's all about labels and tags. So we are going to give away some chalkboard labels this week. So ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have them, someone's going to win them. Let me show you what it is. So this right here is what we're giving away for next week. It is a set. It comes obviously with some chalkboard markers, and it comes with many pages of different styles of chalkboard labels. So you're going to be busy. Whoever wins is going to be busy for a while. We got lots of labeling to do in the house. So Make sure if you want to be in the drawing for these labels, you leave a comment down below. We had 4 tips today on Tip Tuesday, and I want to hear which tip you like the most. I would love to hear it. We talked about everything from what not to use in the attic to what to use, all the way down to even glow in the dark stuff. So make sure you leave a comment down below to be entered into our chalkboard label giveaway. All right, so let's continue on. Tip Tuesday's tool. Right there. Yeah, right there. I thought that what's going to be funny because I'm not going with anything that's like even close to what we're talking about today. So in our Tip Tuesday tool, what could be in here? So each week we have a product that I put in our Tip Tuesday tool that we actually talk about. So it's a product that either it's a resource or a product that helps you get organized. And so we like to talk about it and share one of those with you. Many times there's things that I've personally used. Sometimes there's things that other people, but most of the time it's all that I've tried them out. So while this is really simple, I think it's great. So I'm not even going to show you right now for a second. So this month at Get Organized, we are giving away 1 hour of refrigerator organization and clean out when all of our new clients book a 8-hour organizing day. So basically at the end of the 8 hours, we go to your refrigerator and we're going to clean it out and organize it and even recommend some products at the consultation that will help maximize your space and storage space inside of your refrigerator. So this is one of the things that I love and I have in my refrigerator. Do y'all even know what this is? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the hair dryers that my mother, and yes, even I, when I used to have curlers as a kid, would set under and then, make beautiful hair. Or if you get your hair highlighted, absolutely probably still use these. Okay. Or colored. So this is actually a tomato onion container keeper. Now I've never used mine for a container for a tomato, but I have used it many times over for onions. So it's just an onion storage box. And rather than putting the onions in a Tupperware container and trying to make it fit when it's still round or half round can be a challenge. Sometimes you wrap it in saran wrap. Sometimes you wrap it in Ziploc bags and then you open it up and you're going, woo, little onion smell in there. So this is really a great alternative. And I think I only have one. I might have 2. I normally use red onions in nearly everything. So this is really good for your onion. You can put your whole onion there, even if you just sliced half of it off. Like in 2 parts, or you just slice the end off just a little bit. Really good onion or keeper. So you take this, put it in where it needs to go. It helps with the smell in your refrigerator as well as a great product for doing this. This is also a product that I gave all of our organizers and staff at Christmas. Can you imagine? Kitchen labels, food storage labels, and onion keepers. Can you imagine the theme this year in our Christmas gift giving? Kitchen. That's right. You got it. Kitchen. So every year I do a theme for our organizers on their gifts. And this year happened to be organization of your kitchen area. So these were 2 of the gifts that they received. So your onion keeper is your Tip Tuesday tool of the week. And this is at Container Store, probably under $5. Probably. I can't actually remember, but there you go. Onion keeper. So, okay, well, let's go on to the next thing. One of the things I wanted to mention, every week I bring Tip Tuesday. We're talking about great tips for products, great tips, how we use them, things that relate to my life to help you sort of understand a little bit more of how those products will be useful to you. But I also mentioned something about Get Organized, something that I want to sort of tell you guys that maybe you don't know. So if you're a fan of us on Facebook, You may, from time to time, see this, but we have a YouTube channel, and that channel is full of super great videos and information that we've put together for all of our fans. It has everything to do from car organization to events, things that blog videos that I've done, as well as all of our Tip Tuesday past segments. So we are really wanting to increase our YouTube channel presence and have a lot more subscribers. So if you are viewing this for the first time, welcome to Tip Tuesday. But if you've been here a long time and you're at Tip Tuesday every week, go out to our Get Organized YouTube channel and subscribe to it for us. And every time that we upload something, you'll be able to get a notification that we upload a video on whatever topic it is. And you'll have one place that you can see all of our Tip Tuesday past videos, as well as other videos we've done that are informative on getting organized. Now, Tip Tuesday, we like to keep about 30 minutes-ish. So the others are probably going to be a lot shorter, but Tip Tuesdays are probably going to be your longer videos. So go out to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our Tip Tuesday. So, all right, next Tip Tuesday, what are we going to talk about? Organization, you're right. Okay, a little bit more. Tip Tuesday, a little bit more. Organizing meal planning. This is something that different stages of your life require different type of solutions. I know when I was a young mom, there were solutions that worked really well. And then I went through this transition of being so busy, football practices, at church activities. And then now I'm real busy again, but more so with a focus on both just me and my husband, even though I do have adult children still at home. So depending on the dynamic of where you're at, we're going to cover a little bit of that transition in life about meal planning and not just deciding on what you're going to eat at 4:59 p.m. and then you run out to dinner, which we do a lot sometimes, but we have that freedom to do that. So I think next week, if you struggle with meal planning, coming up with some kind of system or solution, we're going to bring you a lot of resources on meal planning options that are going to be, some are going to be a little bit more maintenance than others, and some are going to be low maintenance. And I think you'll like every one of them, and you can pick out which one will work best for you. So in a recap, if you are just joining us or you're viewing this after we've already gone off of the episode, make sure you leave a comment down below. We are going to be giving away this week. Well, we'll actually give it away on next Tip Tuesday, but anyone who leaves a comment down below of which of the 4 tips they like the most that we left on Tip Tuesday will get in the drawing for these chalkboard labels. It also comes with 2 markers, chalkboard markers, and these are awesome. Awesome. So we will have them shipped to your home, but we aren't going to let you know who won until next week. So we'll listen to our 4 tips and leave a message down below. So I hope you've enjoyed some labels and tags on how to get organized. It just makes a room so polished. It looks cute. It actually is functional. And definitely it gives a home to everything if other people are looking to put something away. You may know where it's at, but others don't unless there's a label or a tag on it. Well, I am Lorraine Brock with Get Organized, and I love bringing you guys Tip Tuesday every week, where we bring you organizational tips about every area of your life for your home, business, and your life. I'm Lorraine Brock with Get Organized, and we'll see you next week on Tip Tuesday.